Hey guys, it's Courtney from the Ivy League here, and today I'm going to talk to you about drug cards. What are they, and what do you use them for? When I first started school, I bought my first set of drug cards, and I bought it from someone that said, "Oh, I have this box of drug cards, do you want to buy it?" And I had no idea what she was talking about, but she had just finished the program that I am in, and I was like, sure, why not? I'll buy them. So I quickly learned that they are super helpful, but I learned that they're not all the same. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about the set of drug cards that I use the most, and the set that I bought first that led me to buy the second set. So this is the box that I use the most. This is not the first set that I bought. This is the Mediquick, and this is by Lippincott Williams, and there are newer versions. This is just the one that I found on Craigslist from someone who is also leaving the program that I have done, that I'm doing now. So what's a drug card? A drug card, basically, if you look in a drug book, everything is on a card in the same format that it would be in the book. Only you don't have to carry the book around. And they do make pocket books. I think I showed you guys one with my what's in my clinical bag, that I had like a little bitty drug book, and that book is great, but it doesn't have a whole lot of drugs in it. And this card box is awesome. I don't carry this box to clinical, but I will show you what I do. So this is basically a drug card, and you can see that this is famotidine, which is Pepsid, and it's right underneath of there, and they're all numbered, and they're in alphabetical order, and they're also numbered so you can, at a glance, just go down really quickly and get them. It has important information on it, like the pharmacological class, the therapeutic class, the pregnancy risk category. They're all up here. Sorry, they're all up here in this top corner. It has all of the indications and the dosages, and IV administration, contraindications, cautions, adverse reactions, interactions, effects on labs that it might have, and pharmacokinetics on the back side. If you look at the back of these cards, it has route, onset, peak, and duration for all the drugs. The available forms, patient teaching, nursing process. These are really good for us to use, like for my program, because they all want to know what teaching you've done as far as what drugs that your patient is on. So even if you fill out a drug sheet, a lot of times we'd have a sheet that we could fill out and just bring that with our clinical paperwork. These are always good to have, because they'll collect your paperwork, and these are little things to remind you to talk with the patient about, if you're giving a drug, like, hey, don't forget when you get home, if you go home on this, you need to take it at bedtime. So that's pretty much what's on each card. There's tons of cards in here, and it's just an awesome little setup. This set, the Mediquick set, came with and I don't have it because it's in my clipboard. It came with a little Ziploc baggie. I say Ziploc baggie, that makes it sound cheap. It's actually like it's a really thick plastic envelope with a little zip at the top of it. And what I'll do is, when I go and get my patient information for clinical, I'll pull all my drug cards from my box here and throw them in there after I fill out my med sheet, and just throw that into my clipboard and go. And then that way, if I have any questions throughout the day, then I can just refer back to my cards. Sorry, I had the hiccups. So this is the first set I bought, and this is a good set. This is by Lang and McGraw-Hill. This is a good set. It's not a bad set. It's just not, there's only 300 drugs in it, so it's not very all-encompassing, I guess would be a good word for it. And there's no plastic the carrier with this, but these do fit. They're the same size. These cards are the exact same size as the other ones. So I just, you know, if there's something in one box that's not in the other one and I need it, I'll just throw them in here. The cool thing about these cards is this is actually, I've just randomly pulled one out. This is Cardism. It actually shows you the pills. So if you have a patient that says, you know, well, this is not what my pill normally looks like at home, you can pull this out and say, you know, you can clearly see that there are 3 different ways that Cardism looks. So you can say, you know, this is typically what they look like. Is this what you've seen at home, kind of thing? And it has all the same information on it. The thing that these cards have that the other one doesn't have is that there are clinical pearls on the back of it, which just give some little tips that you may not know about, and you definitely won't get from a drug book. So these are good. There's just not a whole lot of them. There's only 300, which is not a lot when it comes to drugs. It's not a very wide array of medication. So one thing I did notice, especially doing OB, that a lot of the OB medications are not in either set. Pitocin wasn't in here, or Oxytocin. You know, you can look in these card sets, you can both look them up by brand name and by generic name. There's an index in both of them, and you know, if you know the brand name, you can just look that up on here. If you know the generic but you don't know what all brands are available, then you can look it up that way. So it's listed more than one way. And there are also cards in the beginning that cover groups of drugs. Like there's an antihistamine set, there's an opioid set, there's a beta blocker, there's a calcium channel blocker set, there's a sedatives and hypnotics. So there's all kinds of different ways you can find information in these sets. So that's basically it. If you guys have any questions about drug cards, or if you think drug cards have helped you, make sure and leave a message below and click like and subscribe. Thanks guys, bye.